the girls wore shirts that didn't have a tie, and the boys wore shirts with a tie. And we had different cut blazers. The boys had like boxy blazers, and the girls had like more fitted blazers. And they had pockets on the outside. Their blazers were actually so ugly, and ours were like the built-in ones.
No, ours were all the same. Everyone had the same uniform.
But we had to wear skirts. There was a whole like thing.
You couldn't wear trousers.
Yeah, so the first memory I actually have of drinking this, the first time I did drink it, was when I was on my second year in foundation, and all of a sudden my brain just snapped and I'd just gone into a serious pit of depression and anxiety, and it might have been to do with the fact that I was having to move to London because I hadn't lived away from home ever before. But that kind of manifested into intrusive thoughts, and I was just starting to feel very dark. And I found myself sat on the sofa in my grandma's house where I was living at the time, for about 3 months, just not moving at all, just sat there, barely getting enough energy to wash, watching the exact same programme on repeat for some kind of comfort. And I'd have a breakdown every 30 minutes, round about there, and my dad would always have to try and console me but he wouldn't even know what to do, and sometimes he would start crying and he even at one point it got so bad, and I confided in all my thoughts and emotions in him, and he felt so terrible because he thought what had caused me to be thinking this way is just that I have an irrational fear of change. And that's to do with the fact that he thinks it's because he left me with my mum when they got divorced. And I hadn't adjusted to the change properly. I was only about 8, and I didn't even realise they got divorced. And then all of a sudden, everything just completely changed, so I've never been able to accept it. And yeah, it got so bad at one point he said that he actually felt, he said, "I'm sorry that I brought you into the world if this is the way you're going to feel." And he didn't mean that in a "I wish you were dead" kind of way. He meant it as in, like, you're my responsibility, and I feel bad that you feel this way. And at one point, I was offered a kind of self-help therapy thing, and it didn't work at all, but the one thing that it did say was if you were feeling like you were about to snap and break down again, you can either try and have an apple just to take your mind off it, go quickly, eat an apple as quick as you can, or sing or dance or something, just to get you, just to kind of change your breathing in a way. And the one thing it did say was just have a cup of chamomile tea, have as many as you want, just don't go over about 5 or 6, because then you'll start to feel really drowsy and unpleasant. And it's true.
I didn't know that with chamomile tea.
That's what it's
You feel
for.
drowsy.
It helps sleep.
That's what it's for.
I know it helps sleep, but I didn't think it actually made you drowsy.
Yeah, it does. Eventually, if you have enough of it. So I poured myself some, and at that point my grandmother had gone away on holiday or something, and because we were in a tight house, it was her house, and we didn't have 3 bedrooms because my dad losing my grandma, financially completely unstable. So one night I changed my grandmother's sheets, and I slept in her bed just to have a change of scenery rather than being on the sofa all the time. And I had a cup of tea, and it was the first time I'd had it. I took a smell of it, and it was the first time in 3 months that I hadn't actually wished I was dead, or at least the thoughts in my head hadn't gotten to, don't worry, it couldn't. If it gets any worse, you could always just kill yourself. and after having smelt that was the first time I'd ever just not felt that way. I felt very relaxed and calm, and it didn't resolve everything. I still obviously had to go through the terror of moving away from home. But my grandmother bought me a box of chamomile tea to take down with me, which was really sweet. And I would have a cup every night when I was in the student accommodation. I don't drink it that much now, but every time I do, especially with my partner, whenever I pour it, I'll always say how I always remember that first time when I was in my grandmother's bedroom, having smelt it and just feeling relieved. And for that, it's become quite a pleasant memory. Jean doesn't seem to understand that. He thinks I'm mental for wanting to relive something like that, but I'm not reliving the anxiety or anything. I'm just reliving that moment of kind of bliss. So that's kind of what the smell is for me, just pure bliss.
Wow.
Yeah, Christ.
That is a lot to put on a tea.
Well, yeah.
Well done, chamomile tea.
Well done, chamomile
Yeah,
tea.
exactly. Magic tea.
Yeah. But like you were saying, it has that drowsy effect to me. I don't know if any of you happen to drink it as well for the relaxing, slight tranquilizer effect.
I used to have, so to me, the only thing, I don't know if I've actually had chamomile tea, because to me what it smells like is pucker teas, bedtime tea, nighttime tea,
That'll have
which used
chamomile
to
in it.
absolutely knock me out. I haven't had it in ages because it's very expensive, but when I have that, I'm literally asleep. So now I'm like, I don't never really want to drink it.
I remember you started in between.
Yeah, I was gonna say I only recently started when we were in the flat, maybe so last year.
Last year, yeah.
When it's because I don't sleep well and things, and obviously I was like, have chamomile tea, blah blah. So bought a box. I bought a really cheap rubbish box, but it turns out chamomile tea is chamomile tea. And anyway, so well, because you know how you get like pucker teas that are really posh and fancy, and there's loads of different like manuka honey and I don't know acai berries or whatever. Anyway, so then I just had the standard chamomile tea, and I would just try and I actually started just turning all of the lights off in my room, and I would bring a cup of chamomile tea to bed, and I would sit on my bed in silence and in darkness, and just sit like this with my face over the steam, just smelling the tea and drinking the tea, and hoping that it would work. And I'm not really sure. Do you know what? The first few times that I had it, that I remember, I slept really, really well. But I don't know whether it's just the period of sitting like this in darkness and silence and just existing with the tea made me sleep well. Not, because of the tea, but just, sitting in that. Or whether it was the tea itself.
Right.
So I'm not really sure, but that has kind of stayed as part of routine. But now I do it with tea, or I do it with chocolate sometimes.
Not tea with caffeine.
No.
What type of tea are we talking?
I sometimes have ginger tea, but sometimes the nice chamomile teas that Parker have, and then sometimes just I've still got the same tea bags from the flat. There was quite a lot in there, turns out. But yeah, it's been recent, my experiences with chamomile tea.
Does it still work now?
I think it does, but I don't know whether the noticeable drowsy effects have just worn off because I drink it too much. I have one at uni today. But yeah, don't know.
I've heard it helps with period pain and stuff as well.
Really?
Yeah. David used to pour me chamomile tea. It's probably the first time I had it when I was on my period and I was in pain. He's like, this will help.
Did it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
No.
But also had a paracetamol with it, so I did just fall asleep eventually. So don't know
What it was.
which one it was. But I think tea is very comforting like that. Different kinds of tea.
Well, yeah, you were saying about chai. You wanted to bring some chai here.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously, tea is a massively cultural thing, so it's like, is there anything, like, could you tell me about chai? Like, when you're...
Yeah, I mean, my parents would wake up every morning and have a cup of chai. They'd sit on the floor. They loved to sit on the floor and just drink a cup of chai like it was a thing. And now when I went back this time for the wedding, we have, so this woman who's taken care of my grandparents and now lives in the house and takes care of my sister and the dogs and stuff. She makes the best chai ever. The best. And so I wake up and I'll be like, Didi, like, can you make me chai? And in between for the wedding, they got a cook to just make food and like breakfast for people. And so she was doing other things. And so I'd go hunt for her and be like, can you make me chai? And she'd be like, yeah, he can make it. And I'm like, no, can you make me chai? And she'd just be like, okay, fine. It's the best chai I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's just, like the ginger and the cardamom and all of it, like it's just so good. And I don't really like hot drinks when it's hot outside. Like I find it very difficult to like drink hot drinks. Like I'd have an iced coffee when I wake up and things. But the whole time I was there, 28 degrees or not, chai every morning.
It's actually supposed to be better to drink hot drinks in the heat. Cools you down apparently.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it does.
Seems like bollocks, really.
Yeah, I'm not
No,
buying
it
that.
does. It does, because it increases your internal body temperature. So then it like switches things in your body or brain or whatever, however you work, to like cool you down. So then it cools you down.
I've heard this too from
Yeah.
my biology teacher.
Exactly.
So
It's a
it
thing.
must be at least a commonly accepted myth if it's not true.
Nice.
Do you guys associate smells with colours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
That's true.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
colour? What
You're
colour?
a synesthete then.
I mean,
Isn't that with sounds?
It's
Yeah, I
with
thought
any
that was
it's
sound.
any stimulus that crosses over with another one. So like you might see numbers as
Oh,
colour.
numbers have colours.
Numbers have colours.
I like to fall asleep thinking about what colours numbers are. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like, what colour is the chamomile? Is
Well, personally, it's literally the colour. It is.
I'd say like a
Like that is a
unbleached
really good
titanium.
representation.
It kind
a what?
Unbleached titanium. It's the paint color that I use in all of my paintings. You know,
Like white? Like white? Yeah.
No, it's not a white. It's kind of like that wall, but
Yeah, I can see that.
So like
But that's
it's
quite similar to that.
like cream.
not really. It's like more like cream is creamy. Like unbleached titanium is kind of like uncomfortable. It's not creamy.
It's a bit yellow, a bit orangey.
No, bit more like grey.
I
Yeah.
agree with the
Great
greyness.
cream.
It
No, I
definitely
was
is.
gonna say like a dusty yellow is what I would say.
Like this.
So
No, 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 it's
It's
not like that.
It literally
Not like
looks how it
that.
smells.
No, that looks like no,
Like
no,
it's a greeny brown.
no,
definitely.
not that. No, like paler,
And a
lighter,
bit translucent.
a little bit grey with like an addition of just like a little bit of.
Oh god.
See, to me, there's something that about a bit pond watery about the smell. So I think that's why it looks like that colour.
Pond water.
Pond watery.
I think it might be because my mum said that green tea smelled like pond water, and now I just kind of think that like hot drinks of the herbal variety tend to
Smell like pond
I
water.
yeah.
kind of understand where she's coming from, but it's
Yeah.
it's nice pond water.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I love a ginger tea though.
Yeah,
Close to my heart.
Yeah.
I love ginger.
I love the burning down the throat of ginger.
One time I was really ill and I was in halls and this girl gave me her special ginger tea from China, but she accidentally mixed it like twice as strong as she was meant to, so it just tasted like powder, and I was like, I'm not gonna give in and like show my weakness, I'm gonna drink the whole thing. And then it made my throat, because I was ill, that's why I had it, made my throat even more sore. And then I went to bed and then woke up in the night and I coughed and coughed, and the only thing I'd eaten while I'd been ill was little doodies, like little version of Pringles, and I'd eaten a whole tube of them. I went into the bathroom and I like coughed and coughed into the sink until mashed potato came out, and I was like, where did mashed potato come from? And it was fucking sprinkles. So that's why I think of when I think of ginger tea.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. And the next day I told her, and she was like, oh yeah, I didn't want to tell you, I made it wrong. I was like, great, thanks.
I always love like ginger tea when I'm ill. I feel so much better straight away.
I think that's the first time I had it, when you made it for me when I was ill.
Mm.
Was like, I wasn't even ill. I think I lost my voice. And you were like, I'll make you ginger tea.
I made the only ginger tea as well.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about ginger tea in tea bags, or are you making?
Both.
Are you,
So I do the tea bags. Sometimes I open the tea bags and put grated ginger in the tea bags and tie it back up, and then put a bit of lemon.
Okay,
and
you
honey.
didn't go that far for me.
I did.
You did
I
not
did.
tie the tea bag back. You
Oh, maybe it opened.
No, you sliced ginger, put it in the cup with the tea bag, and put the water in, and then put a bit of honey in it, which is still great. But
And
it never went
lemon.
inside the tea bag. Yeah, and lemon. Yeah. Don't look at me like
I've
that.
done that before, but
That's not
Grate
good.
it,
I normally just have
put it in the
lemon
tea bag,
but ginger
tie
sounds
back.
like a great addition.
honey, lemon, tea bag, ginger.
That is
Because I
not
do-
my experience of ginger tea. But.
neither mine, because I do when I make it, I make a ginger shot like from home. I blend up ginger with some water, then through a muslin, then squeeze it out.
Oh my
It's
god,
very-
you're so hardcore.
Yeah.
No, it's because when John first moved in with me, he always wanted to have ginger shots, but they were like £3 for a
So
tiny one.
expensive,
So
right?
I just
Yeah.
made them for him.
They sell them in Waitrose. They're well expensive.
They're really good
Mm.
for you.
Yeah.
Ginger is so good for you for so many different things, and it's so yummy.
Mm.
Do you keep ginger in the fridge or the cupboard?
Covered.
Fridge.
Cupboard. Rihanna puts bananas in the fridge.
That's fine.
Eggs?
Otherwise,
Right.
you get flies
Covered.
on them. Otherwise,
Eggs? Just eggs?
I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm either.
You put them. You put the bananas in the fruit basket with the net on.
And then they just keep getting riper and riper. Who wants that?
But
I
who
want
wants
to
to eat a
preserve them in
cold
this
banana?
permanent state
do.
of unripeness.
Exactly.
I don't like a cold banana.
I do. I only like a cold banana.
Not a fan.
Actually, no, I don't like a cold banana.
I
It
don't
hurts your
like
teeth.
bananas.
It doesn't hurt your teeth. How cold does it get? You don't freeze it.
Guess who?